Hello everyone, this is Richard Watson and this is Anglais the Easy Way. Today I'd like to talk about something that I've mentioned many times in this podcast, but it's a way of getting away from an academic approach to learning. We've talked about it many times, but especially the message for this episode would be stop learning English and start using it more. I'd like you to think of something that you're really good at. You might be a great basketball player. You may be good at football. You could be a good musician, or perhaps you can run a marathon. Some people can paint or compose music, or you might be able to sew clothes or might design complex computer programs. And some people ride motorbikes and are kind of experts when it comes to riding motorbikes. So I'd like you to think of something you're really good at. And yes, I'm talking to you out there. Think about what you're good at. Really good at. Now you should pause the podcast for a moment and stop and do this properly. Make a little list in your head. What are you really good at? And then I'd like you to think about exactly how you got so good. Was it because you read books? Did you attend classes? Did you watch some videos about it? And of course, you may have done all of those things and probably did. But the fact that you got so good is almost certainly because you used those skills a lot. You practiced them, you used them, you spent a lot of time doing the activities, you gained experience, you learned from your mistakes and from your accomplishments. So you became good at doing the activity, not just having ideas or knowledge. And so when it comes to improving your English, you need to find a way of learning by using. You could also say practice, don't study, but I think the word using is the key here. Use English, don't learn it. And as you're using it, start to bring in all the other skills and knowledge that you have about yourself and the way you like to learn, and also about the subject of learning, and bring all of those in at the same time. And remember that consistency comes from enjoying something. A big part of that for most of us is some kind of community. We can see that in a lot of different sports and different activities. Now, here's a question for you. What kind of group are you in when it comes to learning language? How do you get into one? Well, internet provides a lot of answers to this question. You can join a group. You could join a club. You should join a forum. I know what you're asking. What kind of forum? Well, that depends what you're interested in. Personally, I'm interested in chess. I'm interested in learning to play the guitar. I'm interested in blacksmithing, which is when you heat up iron and hit it with a big hammer to make interesting things happen. I'm interested in archery and shooting English longbows. And yes, I'm in forums for all of those things. I can hear what you're saying. Yeah, but that's just writing and reading. What about speaking? Well, if you really want to improve your speaking, and by improve, of course, I mean practice and use, here's a simple idea for you. The first thing is to realize that short-term, measurable objectives are really important for tracking progress. Language learners often focus on static metrics like vocabulary and grammar, but it's important to also focus on the less measurable objectives, like feeling comfortable and speaking easily. You could have a conversation just to practice these two things and not worry at all about the vocabulary or the grammar or mistakes. Practice speaking every day, even for a short time. That can be really effective. Now, you still may say, yeah, but I've got no reason or no context to use English. Okay, I'm going to give you one. Install Gemini on your phone. It's an AI that will allow you to just speak with it hands-free, and it's a great way to improve your English. Remember to ask it to give you the kind of conversation that you want. If it answers you with very long responses, ask it to keep its answers short. You should just tell it what you want. And the great thing about Gemini is that you can interrupt it when it's speaking, just like you can with a normal person. Disclaimer, I'm not suggesting to men to interrupt your wife. I never said that. Challenge yourself to speak English with Gemini for 15 minutes a day for 2 weeks, and then think about where you are. Are you finding your words more easily? Is it easier for you to understand? Are you thinking less about the grammar and just trying to get your ideas out into the conversation? How do you feel when you're speaking or listening? Don't worry about the mistakes. Gemini can always tell you about them later if you're worried about them and really want to know. But that's not the objective here. You should practice the skills of talking, listening, understanding, of building up your answers and actually speaking. And the extra bonus is that if you hesitate too long, Gemini might think you're finished and it will answer you. But don't worry, just tell it you haven't finished and carry on. It'll stop and listen to you. That's perhaps the best thing about Gemini, is that as it's speaking, if you start speaking, it will stop. Reflect on your progress after a couple of weeks and adjust your approach as it's needed. But remember, it's important to visualize your desired future. Where do you want to get to? And then map out a path to get there. Start by finding something you want to accomplish. Start with an objective, and then try to build up a path to get you to that objective, and then start practicing. I recently heard a quote from a chess coach saying, train first, think later. I think we can use that one here as well. Anyway, listen, I'm going to leave it there. You might not have noticed, but throughout this episode, I've tried very hard to use a lot of modal verbs. Should, can, could, may, might, need to, have to. Again, go back, listen again, see if you can pick them out. And they're yours. Do what you want with them. Go and have fun. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.